Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Enough. Shh. Oh, there we go. There we go. Lovely. Guys, thank you so much for coming along. It's really exciting to see a few of you. I know a few more people will be coming in a little bit later, so we will gradually increase in numbers. Yeah, this is our 7th full circle now. So gradually growing each year, gradually bringing new talks in. Really, really happy to sort of keep going here. First of all, I've got to say thank you to all of our speakers. We've got speakers from Colombia, Indonesia, all over. People have traveled to come down and see us, so really, really nice to have people on board. We really, really appreciate it from both a company point of view and a personal point of view. We really appreciate the effort that everybody makes. That includes all the other roasters in the room as well. Thank you for those that have helped with donating some coffee or their time or feedback. That really helps. Thank you also to the team at DR Wakefield who will be busy floating around. We've got our badges on. If you need anything from us, feel free to grab any of us and ask us anything, and we will make sure that you are taken care of. It's not really about me, this event, though, so I'm going to keep this mercifully brief. As many of you that know me know, I will talk forever, so not today. I'm going to hand you over, first of all, to Alejandra from Café Granja La Esperanza. For those of you that don't know, and I won't go too much into it, but they're like one of the super premium coffee suppliers globally. They're regularly in the competition. Super innovation happens on their farm, a beautiful farm. So we thought it'd be a great way to kick off the talks. Alejandra, I will hand over to you, and we will take it from there. Thank you.
So, yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here today and have this opportunity to share all information that what we do in the region. So thank you very much for having me here. So let's start. I'm gonna to introduce myself. I'm Ale. I love that people call me Ale. It's more like a friendly. So you can call me like that. I have been working with coffee around 7 years. So I just started with a coffee cooperative in Colombia. My role was to start to open new markets or international markets and prepare the all logistics to export coffee to different parts of the world. So in that cooperative, I had the opportunity to be closer to the whole process of the change because they have seen the advisors to the coffee growers, the private coffee purchasers, the dry millions, the barista school, lab certified by the ACA, and coffee shops. So I had the opportunity to learn all about this beautiful world. So immediately I knew that all my life I would be spent working with coffee. So now I'm here. So after that, working around 5 years with them, I decided to start by myself. Giving some advisors to people that I want to start with coffee companies in Colombia. And after 1 year and a half, more or less, I started with CGLE. I had the opportunity to work with them, and it's an amazing company, another world, totally different because it's a specialty coffee, a lot of research, a lot of innovation. So I'm really happy to be here today, represent them. So I have around 6 months working with them. So let's start with the CGLE. I want to introduce a few information about what we do or what we are. So the company was founded in 1945. The company was started with their Luis and Rigo parents. So they decided to build Las Margaritas farm. It's one of the farms that we have. And right now, Luis and Rigo are the 3rd generation, and they are the owners. So I don't know if you, maybe in some cases, have you heard about the story that Rigo is one of the most famous people in Colombia in the coffee industry because he take the geishas to Colombia for the first time. So it was really, really funny story that he told me when I started the company, that Luis were in Panama looking for another business, and someone at that time told Rico, do you want to rent a farm? I have trees there. So maybe you want to see, and so he said, no, I'm not interested in that, so please continue. So here they arrived to a downtown, and surprise for him to find a coffee export there. So he started to try the coffees, and he realized that the coffee tastes very different. So for any reason, he decided to go to the farm, and in the farm he started to try the cherries. And when tried the cherries, he realized that the same flavor that he perceived in each that coffees. So since then, he ran the farms for many years, and so he decided to pick the coffees, do everything by themselves, and take the seeds to Colombia. So they start with the geisha there. We have right now 4 farms, and we are recognized to be producer and export of specialty coffee. So we have 4 farms. We have Las Margaritas, Potosí, in Caicedonia. They are located in the Central Mountain Range, and Trujillo in the Western Mountain Range, La Esperanza and Cerro Azul. So for that reason, we have different microclimates, different winters, rainfalls, and you can see the altitudes and the total crop area. So we have a main office in the middle of the Valle, all is in the Valle, the department that I usually highlighted there. And so we are in Cali, and we take around 2 hours and a half to arrive to each farm, or no, to each region. So here is the people that makes the things happen. So we have a team, farms team, agriculture engineers, farm managers, protocols, that is someone that is controlling and try to investigate and research about what we can improve our protocols there. And monitoring, so someone that go to the farms, she go around and check that the managers are doing good the things or the all that they have to do. The quality team, we have 3 people in the lab, milling and physical quality, someone that always is controlling and checking that the coffee is prepared in the preparation that we negotiated. Packaging and logistics, we have there as well people working on that. And the administrative team, accounts everywhere, sales team, we are 2. Europe, USA markets is in my church, another guy to Asia and Middle East. We have management projects, because we need to try to find different projects with social and economic impact in Colombia. So it's someone that is searching with who we can work. And international logistics, so all that coffee that we produce, we export. So we have a team to export by air and by sea. And the facilities, we have administrative office in Cali, but we have as well post-harvest facilities in each farm. We have the main warehouse in Caicedonia, where we have temperature control storage. We have cupping labs 3, one in one farm, one in Cali, and one in our main facility in Caicedonia. We milling and sorting in small batches, so we can milling around 200 kilograms, no more. If we need to produce more, we need to send to another dry milling. And we sorting by hand, so we have around 20 women that are sorting by hand. Maybe we can take 200 kilograms per each one, so it's not easy for us to complete a lot of the preparation of a competition. And vacuum packaging, all vacuum packaging we do in our warehouse. So for CGLE, it's really important to generate any economical, social, or environment impact. So for that reason, we have a school. When you go there, you can see in Las Margaritas a farm. In that farm, we try to supply the school to the different school suppliers. We carry out the Christmas events, and we try to look after school infrastructure. And the natural reserve, we try to have a budget to keep this reserve and to continue to protect the environment, and around 20% of our total land area is just natural reserve. And here the economic impact that we have. So we realized and we compared the salary in 2023 that we pay more than 20% of the salary minimum in Colombia to our pickers. So it's something that we call fair incomes. And the additional price, so we try to sell another regions of coffees. So when we negotiated directly with the coffee growers, we try to pay an additional or an extra price. So for that reason, we try to pay over 31 cents per kilogram. That it's really good, because when the coffee grower go to the private or federation to sell the coffee, they just pay to the physical quality, not for the quality on the taste. So that's very good there. And finally, we have the CGL offer that all of you can see. And we have 4 categories. We have competitions, singular series plus, and singular series. All of them are differentiated because the complexity of the flavors, and you can find some varieties on some protocols. But a CGL for all, you find the coffees that we can offer like a stay from our farms, or maybe you can get a regional coffee like Anarillo, Caquetá, or organic, or another kind of project. And here we have the old varieties that we have is Canala Love, Geisha, Pink Bourbon, Yellow Bourbon, Pacamara, Sudan Rumé, CGL 70, Mandela, Laurina, Java, and Mocha. So after that, I'm gonna to continue with what is different for us. So CGLE decided to start with the investigation and research around 2010. And so they wanted to find something new. So they start to cross varieties. But for CGLE, it's really important to take 4 things in mind to get a successful crossing process. So the first one is try to get better profiles or better flavors, like a unique flavors. And the second one is get trees that can be resistant against pests and disease. The third one, and really important for us because we need to sell and get profit from that research, is productivity, so that our trees can be more productivity or product in the mean of the time, and adaptability to climate change. So try that our trees can work or get a good behavior in wherever altitude that we have. So taking that in mind, so I'm going to tell you how we do the CGL crossing process. So the first one is select the best cherries. So for example, we decide to cross one variety with another variety. So we try to select and try the cherries, or maybe get any capping profile and select the best cherries, and then we put in nursery by 9 months around, and then we plant in the field. You know that around 2 or 3 years after, we start to get the cherries, but it's really important to take in mind keen an eye the climate conditions, because you need a summertime and a rainfall time as well. So after you get the first rains, in that time, you need to wait around 8 days to start, the flower coming up. And so it's really important that you see there that step when the flower is just coming out, because in that time you need to take out the flower or the anthers, because if you leave the flower there, they can pollinate. So you need to avoid that to continue with the crossing. So once the flower is in that step, here, sorry, I have a mistake. Here is get the female ready, and there is the male ready, okay? So here you need to leave the old female form the flower, and there you need to get the anthers and the flowers and get the pollen inside or leaf there. We normally leave the pollen inside the Athens, and other people take away and then spread out, but we leave the flower there. And then we put the flower into the female structure, and we cover the branches. 1 week later, you see that the cherries start coming out, and maybe 52 days, you see the percent of fruit sets. Here you will see the whole process during the days until get the cherries after 7-8 months. So finally, we have, after do these many things for many years, we finally have CGL 70, that is a Caturra with geisha. This is our nickname of the company. One of the most popular flavors in this variety is coriander seeds, and we have Harry Wash, honey, and natural. Right now, you will find in Competition and Singular Series Plus. We have in Las Margaritas and Potosí, and this tree is medium growing tree. And our first generation, it was in 2017, that was the first time that we planted the plant into the field. And now we are trying to get the second generation, that is 2020. 2020 we have in a lower altitude, because we want to check if this works very well in that kind of altitude, around 1,200 meters above sea level. And the 2024 is in front or near to the 2017 lot. So just check, and we need to wait how it's going, but we hope that can improve a lot of the profile and the productivity. And here is Mandela. Mandela is more like a dark chocolate red berries. We have right now just in natural, and you will find in Competition, Singular Series Plus, and Singular Series. And you will find La Esperanza, Potosí, and it's a medium small growing tree. And our first generation is 2018. It's all so far. So what we achieve with the new varieties, that is really impressive for us, so that works, because CGL density of cultivation is 6,000 trees per hectare. So you know that the geisha is around 2,500 trees per hectare. So that works a lot, the crossing between geisha and Caturra. So we can produce more coffee with a good profile. And Mandela thrives in a lower temperatures than other varieties, so that works very good, because we can use the another altitudes or the lower altitudes that we have, and maybe some varieties don't work in that places. So finally, we have exclusive offer and a competition lots. So that is unique that we offer. So we know that we need to keep going, working on that, and try to establish the variety of the genetic. But we have around more than 12 years, so it's enough time to get in mind the profile of these varieties. And then we have a fermentation process, so we try to explore and research in the old protocols that we have in our farms. That is really important for us, and find the protocols that can explain or allow that the varieties can develop its own flavors, not cover the flavors like in some cases you can find. So for us it's really important. And additional, we try to find protocols that we can replace instead and others, because for example we have geisha from Las Margaritas in an exact lot, and we have the main harvest, but at the end we try to produce the same protocol, the same variety with the same protocol, but we don't have the same profile. So we need to try find different protocols or different process to get the same profile to offer you the same coffee as soon as we can do. And fermentation exploration, what we do, we start with the small batches, around 20 and 8 kilograms. Then the temperature, we try to not control, but try to keep an eye around 25 degrees. We need to keep the temperature right like that. But we don't have times that we can control or manage the temperature, just check. Brix and pH, the same. The Rixes is really important for us, but the point, we don't pick checking the Rixes. We just pick or select the cherries because the color of mature, because it's really difficult for us to control the Rixes, because when the summer is very high, the Rixes are really high, and when the winter remain, the Rixes is not so high. So they can behave really different in each protocol, so depends the weather. And the pH levels, we need to stay minimum in 3. And the trials, we try to get a big mass divided into equal amounts and get the trials and the witness, and we do the same process. So when we approve the fermentation protocols, when the high quality results is around 80%, so we have a score 86 plus, when we can work with this protocol, with the same protocol in a huge quantity, for us is around 200 kilograms. When we don't have any defect in any trial or witness, and when we find new flavors or profiles, and when we have protocols that we can replace. And another thing that I forget here, we have around 8 trials and 8 witness to get the final protocol. So maybe we can take 1 year, try it. And then we have here CGL process. So you will find hybrid wash. Hybrid wash is fermented in cherries, the pulp, and fermented without husk. Okay, double natural, aerobic, and anaerobic. Natural and aerobic just in that process, natural, aerobic, honey, and wash. So you will find in our offer the profiles of the varieties in combination with this kind of process. So that we do in region. For that reason, we have a unique offer. And so right now, the all unique processes that we are finding, we try to select to the auction that we have all years. So we are going to have the auction this year in October. So yeah, we try to stay and continue with the research in varieties and protocols to try to find new ones. So thank you very much. Thank you for staying with me.
Before you take a seat, has anybody got any questions? Each talk we've got about 15 minutes allotted for questions, so has anybody got anything they're bursting to ask? Nothing. Oh yeah, go on, Simon's first. Thanks, Simon. I was about to jump in.
Things I have to do to get a microphone nowadays. When you were talking about the different varietals you were using, you mentioned a hybrid one which was looking to work well with cooler temperatures. That seems, most of the time you hear, you're looking for how things cope with lack of water or higher temperatures. Just interested why you were going with the lower temperature.
In a lower temperature, well, sorry, can you repeat, please?
On the different varietals you
Yeah.
had, one of the ones you were saying was you were developing it for lower temperatures.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All we hear about is climate change,
Yeah.
climate's going higher,
Yeah.
lack of water,
Yeah.
and I was wondering why you were looking for something that was for a lower temperature. It's interesting because it's not the normal.
Yeah, it's not normal. So we try to do that. So we are keeping investigating how we can get that this variety can good behavior in that altitude. So we try to check the productivity and try the coffee that can work for us as well, but it's fine, good so far. Yeah.
Any others? Yep.
Hi, thank you very
Hello.
much.
Okay.
Kind of connected to the last question really was just what sort, talked about the climate change adaptability, and just would be interesting to hear more about the challenges that you are facing from climate change.
Yeah, that is a lot. Even we usually have a main crop, but now we don't have main crop. It's like during the whole year, and even we don't know how is the behavior in each month range, because supposedly in Caicedonia we have the main crop at the beginning of the year, and in Trujillo at the end of the year. But now it's not easy for us to control that, so we need to work against or try to identify how is going the weather, and try to find new varieties like that, try to find as well how we can improve in our process to control the old variables that I told you, to maybe avoid like climate changes, but it's not easy for us, the summer and the winter that change a lot in our countries due to the climatic changes. Yeah.
Yo le voy a hacer la pregunta en español. Quería saber cuál es su mercado principal, yo sé que ya lo dijo, y si tienen en algún mercado en perspectiva que quieran enfocarse y empezar a enfocarse en, por ejemplo, no sé, lo pregunto así porque nosotros en Costa Rica estamos muy interesados, como por ejemplo ver los mercados nórdicos. Por ejemplo, para Colombia, no sé, Dubái, o sea, ¿cuál es su mercado principal en este momento y si tienen algún mercado nuevo que quieren explorar?
Do you want to translate, or everybody knows the Spanish? Do you want to know Spanish? No. So he asked about how is our main market to export coffee, and what kind of a country we want to achieve or our target. So for us, in English or in Spanish? Yeah, okay. So for us, the most important market right now is Asia. It's like, yeah, it's around the middle of the market, 52%, and then Europe and USA. So, yeah, the Asian right now.
Like a target market right now that you would like to explore?
Europe. Yeah, I think that's very good in Europe, and it's going to increase the market here. The specialty coffees that for me is good market, and I have the target here. But Asia is going really well. They paid a lot for the coffee.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in with a question before I miss out. When you go and visit your farm, obviously you've got a lot of other varietals on the farm. You've got Peperessens, you've got like Bericas and everything else.
Where you were?
On the
Esperanza.
Esperanza.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So how much you talked about CGLE 17 and then doing the experiments for CGLE 24, I think maybe it's called, for the lower altitude. How many other varietals are you working on in the background? And maybe what's the story about the ones that don't make it? Because so many, it's always great when something comes through and is a fantastic tasting coffee, and it's often about the superstar, but like what cost have you got of how many varietals just didn't work or haven't really gone anywhere? Is that a large portion of the research? Oh, really?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, I know that they tried a lot, but it's really difficult to find the exactly point to get the new varieties.
So we're not expecting every 2 years a brand new varietal coming out. It's more consolidation of what we've got, and then hopefully in 5 to 10 years another one.
I hope that. We hope as well. Yeah. We're working on that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah. Good.
Just back to the market question, do you sell any of your coffee internally into the Colombian market? None. No. And how do you see the internal market of Colombia for specialty coffee?
I think it's increasing. I think it's increasing and it's going well. You will find more coffee shops that work with a specialty coffee. Maybe people is starting to know more about how is the specialty coffee market, but it's still complicated to find that people are willing to pay more for a cup or for a bag of the coffee. But I think that is going well, but we have a roasted brand right now, so it's called Enigma. So the thing that we do is buy ourselves the coffee from Granja La Esperanza, and we process the coffee, roast the coffee, and sell in bags. But I'm not in green coffee. All green coffee that we produce is export. Yeah.
Perfect. Any other questions?
Just how much of a focus is there on roasting and roasting profiles? Because obviously you talk a lot about the growing and the experimentation with the process at the start, but how much of a focus is there with you guys on that end product? Like, do you do a lot of roasting, I suppose, is the question?
Yeah. So you mean that the percent that we try to find the green coffee roasted, or?
Yeah, so like within your organisation,
Yeah.
how much roasting do you do? How much experimentation do you do with roasting profiles?
We have actually for profiles or for lines. We try to have one that change every single month and try to find a good profile for that. But the rest of the lines still stay or maintain in the same conditions.
Yeah.
We try to get one more commercial, but not so much. Two more like the Singular Series or Singular Series Plus, and another one for the competition. So with that one, we try to find maybe better profiles. Yeah.
Le voy a traducir porque creo que es interesante. Está preguntando cuánto jugamos en origen con los perfiles de tueste.
Pero dependiendo de las líneas que tenemos.
Pero un mismo café, ellos lo pueden convertir en 3 diferentes estrellas, digamos así.
Pero
nosotros no.
No, depende de la línea. Sí. Ya. No.
Because that was sort of one. When I we have we have a larger roaster that we use for our large scale roasting, and then we have a half kilo roaster. And one of my favourite things to do is get a brand new coffee and roast 3 different profiles, a light, a medium, a dark, and find what the best profile is for us, or the best flavour that comes through. And that was sort of my question: is do you do that sort of experimentation?
No, not so much. Just for each line, we try to maintain the same profile. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
It's amazing the lack of knowledge we have in origin and what you guys do. We just focus on producing, preparing, and exporting.
But
We cup the coffee, we do an SCA cupping, blah, blah, blah.
But not as much experimentation.
No.
Profiles, zero.
I think some of that though is because this is a question I get asked a lot as well. As an import company, people are always like, "Oh, what's the profile for this coffee?" In the nicest way, it's like you guys are the roasters. You know, we're not going to use all of the product to then say, "Oh, well, there's that," but I've only got one bag left of it. It's it's that sort of thing. But I think that's where events like this are great, because it's the communication and the feedback. And from a roaster's point of view, it's always really important to make sure that you do feedback that stuff. There's so often when samples or coffees go out, people go, okay, no, I'm not interested. There can be value to feeding that back up the chain so people understand, oh, this is what people are doing to it, this is what they like, maybe I can tailor that a little bit more towards this or something like that.
If you could feedback to origin, for example, on your roasting profiles, we can understand, maybe we could change, for example, the drying process.
Yes.
Instead of being an aggressive drying process in a guardiola, maybe we could, I don't know, do greenhouse.
But I think, it's not easy. Yeah, because even the coffee, the established coffee that you have here is different than we have there. So if you start to compare the machines, everything, the altitude even, when you compare the Ikawa roaster cube, you can use the same temperature when you put the coffee inside here or in Colombia. So it's kind of a little bit, different. But it's one of the things that we always ask our clients. We try the coffee in origin. that you feel the same, no? Or what kind of difference you can perceive here is so different. Yeah.
I think there's an interesting point, like George was saying as well, with as companies, as countries start consuming more in their own country, you will start to see that naturally, that feedback gap shorten. I've certainly spent time on farms now where, you know, we're seeing, I was just with the cupping champion from Brazil now, the world cupping champion, but he's based on a farm, so you can just see the closure of that loop and that feedback coming and that understanding and linking stuff together. So I think the more time that goes past, maybe the more that will start to feedback. Okay, we've got maybe time for one last question, if anyone's got one. No, perfect. Alejandra, thank you so much.
Okay, no,
Thanks
you
for starting.
you.
It's always tricky to start the day off,
Yeah.
but I think you did well. A round of applause for Alejandra. Thank you.